the United States President and from the Governor of the state of Kentucky that we have their support, we have their acceptance, and it's up to us to hold their feet to the fire.
Thank you.
And that's why we're here today. We're not going away. We're going to be here. We're going to remind them. And as was stated in Governor Fletcher's proclamation, we represent how many? 874,000 of our brothers and sisters across the Commonwealth. They're not all here today, but we are here to represent them and to demand full access in our communities, and to demand that the laws are adhered to and complied with, that provides equality, that our rights are protected. And that's why we're here today. Now, right today, on this day, July 26th, in Washington, D.C., there is a press conference occurring. And it's about the Restoration Act for the Americans with Disabilities Act. In the materials that were passed out to you with the program, the pledge to the ADA, and the acknowledgments, there is also a listing of Kentucky senators and representatives, their phone numbers and their fax numbers. And today, each of us in this room must contact your specific representative and the senators and ask them to support the restoration of the Americans with Disabilities Act. We must demand this. We must let them know that we are concerned about our Bill of Rights in the state of Kentucky, and we are looking to see where they cast their vote regarding this matter. We must contact them today. The contact information is there for your convenience. Call them today as you're traveling back home. Get on the cell phones, pass the phones around on the bus or the van. Contact them and tell them we expect them to support this restoration of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Okay? Now, why is this necessary? The Americans with Disabilities Act is 17 years old today. Why do we have to once again call, encourage, demand, make our presence known and our voices heard about this very thing that George Bush signed into law in 1990, 17 years ago? Well, here's why. Because as cases were filed in the courts of our country, people did not look to see what the definition of disability said. And therefore, there were other kinds of cases filed in courts. And these cases then, and the judgments that came, have indeed caused issues for the Americans with Disabilities Act as we knew it in 1990, and as we know it today. And we want them to restore it. We don't want it to be weakened. We want our full rights in this law. We are not looking for prejudice. We are not looking for paternalism. We expect to be treated with dignity and respect as people with disabilities, as citizens of this Commonwealth and the United States of America. And here we are again, after 17 years, calling everybody for the support of for the protection of our rights. But we will not faint voices heard, and we will have the Americans with Disabilities Act restored. And so, take that information and use it today. Call them today. If you do not know who your Congress member is, ask me or any of the people that you see with the blue t-shirt on, or ask John. I can tell you, in Western Kentucky, District 1 is Congressman Ed Whitfield. And District 2 is John Yarmouth. And 3 in Bowling Green area, Bardstown area, is Congressman Ron Lewis. Central Kentucky is Ben Chandler. Northern is Jeff Rogers, Northern Kentucky. And Eastern Kentucky is Harold Rogers. I think that's everybody. And then the senators are Mitch McConnell and Jim. Hear from us today. We must make the call today about this matter. Now, the theme for the rally this year is access is success. It's a fine thing to have a beautiful, beautiful building, whether it be a restaurant, the State House, a doctor's office, an attorney's office, a church, or synagogue, or a hotel, or a theme park. That's great to have, to be able to go to. But when a person who uses a mobility device or accesses information differently goes to these buildings, if there's not access, then there's not going to be success in entering those buildings. The same is true with programs and services that are provided by any entity, whether it's federal, state, or private. All things, all places, all programs, all services, after 17 years, should be accessible. And we expect them to be accessible. And we are working hard at helping people to understand what accessibility is, helping employers to understand that people with disabilities have skills and talents to offer that can enhance their companies. And so with access comes success for people with disabilities in employment, in recreation, in education, in every area of the community life. We can pursue the American dream if our rights are protected under the ADA, and they are. And we must see to it today that this act is restored and our inalienable rights remain in place, and that people begin to understand what the definition of disability is under the ADA. We've had many great leaders, advocates, go before us, pioneering the way. And we will continue this journey. We will lead on in the words of Justin Dart, and we will continue the fight to make our rights known and our voices heard. We must stay vigilant. We must stay watchful about decisions that are in